Activate the casket. Gregor, the power source.
Pontius Lord.
What have you woken me to?
What is the last thing you remember, Lord?
Promises. Promises. Where is your reserve?
Temper. I am Eisenhorn, Imperial Inquisitor. You are my prisoner, and you only enjoy cognitive function because I allow it. You will answer my questions.
I will not.
Amos, disconnect this menace and prepare it for disintegration.
Wait.
I know that your life and intellect were preserved in this device, Pontius. I know you have waited 2 centuries, trapped in a bodiless state, desperate to be made whole again. That is what your family promised you, wasn't it?
You yourself promised. He said it to be so. The methods were prepared.
To sacrifice the nobility of hubris so that their life energies might be siphoned off into you through this casket. To give you the power to create a body yourself.
He promised.
Uricel and the others abandoned you, Pontius. They abandoned the hubris project at the last minute in favor of something else. They are now all in the custody of the Inquisition.
They would not.
I'm sure they wouldn't. Unless it was something so vital, so unmissable they had no choice. You'd know what that would be. Wouldn't you? What would be more important to them than you, Pontius Gregor?
They are not cool.
What? Who are not?
My brethren, not you. If you had them, you would not be asking these questions. They are free and you are desperate.
Not at all. You know how it is. So many lies, so many conflicting stories. Your pitiful family trying to sell each other out in exchange for freedom. I came to you for the truth.
No. Credible, but no.
You know what it is, Pontius.
No.
You know what it is. They woke you from time to time to keep you informed. Woke you from the oblivion that surrounds you in that globe. Beneath House Glor, for example, in that chapel they built to contain you. I saw you there. You subdued me with your power.
I would do so again.
You know what it is. They told you.
No.
You're lying.
Not much use then.
We're just beginning.
Perhaps I should try.
How? Exactly.
I've scoured every data slate we have and found almost nothing on the Saruthi. Most perturbatory. It might be worth speaking to Maxilla again,
Master, the psychic emissions from that thing in the hold are almost too much to bear.
Tobias,
Yes, Gregor.
tell me about the Saruthi. Tell me why you claimed to know nothing of them when I told you we were heading into their territory.
Because such places are forbidden. Because you are an inquisitor. And it does not do to admit transgressions to one such as you.
You have aided me eagerly and generously up to now, Tobias. I suspected your motives at first, a detail for which I have apologized. I see now you are as keen to serve the Emperor of Mankind as I. It troubles me that you would withhold information now.
It does more than trouble me, Gregor. It has plagued me. A crisis of conscience.
It is time to speak, then. Imperial knowledge of the Saruthi is scant, and as you say, forbidden. I am more than aware that rogue traders know a great deal more about the outside systems and their species than we do. You are no rogue, but you are of the merchant elite. I think it unlikely that you have never come across any information pertaining to this Xenos breed.
As a young man, over 90 years ago, I traveled into Saruthi space. I was a junior crewman aboard a rogue trader called the Promethean. I never left the bowels of the ship, or went to the surface of any worlds. All I knew was the miserable duration of the voyage. As I understand it, it took the senior officers a long time to find the Saruthi at all, and even then they were less than forthcoming. The third officer, a man I knew reasonably well, confided to me that the Saruthi played tricks on trade envoys, hid from them, tormented them.
Tormented how?
Their worlds were eerie, disarming, uncomfortable. Something about the angles, the officer said.
The angles?
As if something ill and twisted had infected their dimensions. We came back empty-handed after a year. Many of the crew quit and left the Promethean on our return, especially when the captain declared he was going to try again. I quit then too. but only because I couldn't face another year below decks. Perhaps you can see why I was unwilling to tell you these things before. Because there is nothing useful to tell, except to incriminate myself by admitting I'd gone beyond.
In future, do not hold information back from me.
I will not.
Tobias, you say the voyage of the Promethean was long and fruitless, and the crew members were tormented by the beings they eventually encountered. Do you not have misgivings about returning there?
Of course. But I am bound to serve you as an agent of the Emperor, and I will do so without question. Besides, part of me is curious.
Curious?
I want to see the Ceruthi with my own eyes.
I tell you much, you tell me little. That was not the deal, Pontius. How can I communicate your will to your allies if I know nothing of the true matter?
You should go before they discover you. Eisenhorn is becoming suspicious.
Tell me, Pontius. We're nearly there. The window for communicating with your allies is closing.
The Necroteuch. That is what we are after, Elizabeth. The Necroteuch.
The Necroteuch. I had wondered what could be so precious, so important as to galvanize our enemies so, make them risk so much. I had my answer. Legend said the last extant copy of that abominable work had been destroyed millennia before. Except that by some means, in antique ages past, a copy had come into the hands of the Ceruthi race, and now they were preparing to trade it back to Glor's Imperial heretics. The Essene burst back into real space, deep within system KCX-1288 on the 31st week of the voyage. The local star was a vast, swollen fireball, pulsing and retching out its last few million years of life. Alarms and sirens shrilled as the Essene was battered by immeasurable radiation and waves of searing star debris. The whole system was in a state of collapse.